able to feast.
Talking to Jerry Dipoto, as we do every week, you mentioned that you'll play the better part of the next few weeks without a player at a time. Do you have more info on what that will look like and what the suspensions will look like?
Well, we're still waiting for confirmation on what the suspensions will look like, but the actual suspensions are likely to start for us as early as tonight. So, for the next 2 weeks or so, our hope is that we get a game or two knocked off each one of the suspensions, and I believe that's a possibility. The league is going to allow us to stagger the suspensions so that we're not forced to play 3 men short even for a day. And, we'll be able to run them back to back to back. And, and again, it's not ideal, but you can manage your way through with a 25-man roster. It's a much different thing when you're trying to manage through with a 23-man roster.
Has anybody
and just 12 position players?
Has anybody figured out what Julio did to get suspended yet?
No. And Julio, like so many, we're running around, they're in a pile, and there are certain things that happen. And I've already heard feedback from some that were in the middle of the mix that there were quite a few people who, both gave and received in that pile that weren't cited. And that's only due to the fact that the umpires, by and large, aren't in the middle of the mix. They're not in the pile, and they can't see everything. And we, by virtue of the fact that we're watching on video, can't see everything. But, that being said, none of us can come up with anything on Julio. And hopefully we can get that just erased and Julio can move on. But, once you've been charged, that's hard to do.
Just talking about Julio, I mean, what he's done over the last couple of games, I mean, obviously the last couple of weeks, but just seeing the number of ways he can affect a game between the athletic play on Saturday night. 2 nights ago, it wasn't Saturday. In my dreams, it was Saturday. A couple of games ago to avoid the tag at first base, and then the home run he hit yesterday. He really, Jerry, he's so special. It's really, we're running out of words to describe him.
And it's happening so early in his career. It's he has incredible talent. He fills up every toolbox with a plus to elite level tool. And I think his greatest tool is just how much he loves the game. It turns into a competitive advantage for him. And he never has that much. I shouldn't say never because his career is still so young. But one of the most refreshing things about Julio is, like any other player on earth, he's going to go out and he's going to take his 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. And he might take a 1 for 8. But he has a way about him where he comes back to work on the third day and he's got a smile on his face and he's working hard and he finds a way to chip in 2 hits and he takes a walk. And somewhere while he was going over, he makes a super athletic catch, and you'd never know he was over his last 8 because of the smile on his face and how much he just enjoys the moment. And it's true in Julio's case, it's true if you're up or down in the game. He has a way of making you feel like everything is achievable. We can come back in this. Don't worry, guys. We can do it. And I don't think that's naivety. I think it's just who he is. It's a positive emotional impact on a team every day.
I've had a chance to watch him in person a couple of times in the last few weeks. I've been over at the ballpark, and one thing that jumped out to me, and I'm certainly no expert in this, but it just sure seems like he takes excellent routes to fly balls, that he truly sprints to the spot the ball's going to be, and then he's sitting there waiting for it. Obviously, the speed plays a factor, but how impressed have you been with his ability to play center field?
It's pretty amazing, actually. And from a fundamental perspective, just playing the outfield, he constantly, he's always behind the baseball. He fields it with the ball in front of him. He comes through it and makes accurate on-line throws. He hits his cutoff man. He throws to the right base. It's, those things that you usually learn over time. He just has those skills. And I want to say that those are things that have been like that since he was brought into the Mariners organization. But no, they've evolved very quickly over the last year and a half. And I really think this all began for Julio with the escalation of all his peripheral non-batter's box skills. It really began for him about the time that he went and played for Team Dominican in the Olympics, and he realized how close he was and how great he could be, and his work, I guess his work patterns and focus just changed in that moment, and he has been, for lack of a better way to put it, he has been a work animal since then. He doesn't stop, and he wants to achieve greatness both for the team and individually, and I think it shows up in what he does every day.